Only one commercial break in, guys, and we've already got drama. High-level drama. Heated drama. But of course we open Married at First Sight UK Season 9 Episode 24 with them attending the 5th dinner party of the season. Casper and Emma getting ready. Casper and Emma is just sad now. I appreciate they're being polite to each other. I really do. And they're being amicable. They're not being rude. But it's just a bit sad. It makes me really sad to see them kind of not succeeding when I thought there was a chance.
I don't know, I feel like... I don't know, it's just reflective on... It's just a shame, isn't it? Casper and I are going to walk in together, but we're probably the most apart we've ever been. We haven't really done the experts' homework. You know, I haven't really had any sign that he's sort of willing to give the intimacy a try. But I hope that we can just put a line under the sand. And I really want us to go in and have a nice time.
Alex, on the other hand, is well aware of what's going to happen at the dinner party. He's well aware he's going to be confronted in some sort of way. And he's ready to fight. As I said before in my previous video, he likes to fight, guys. I know some of you are defending him in the comments, and I get that. But I honestly do believe this man likes to fight. He enjoys it.
I'm going into tonight's dinner party. I'm in to defend my marriage to the rest of the group. But there's nothing that these people can do to me to faze me.
When Alex arrives at the dinner party, you know, he's quizzed about Holly and stuff. And what's interesting is he's asked this question that he's been asked before. Do you care for Holly? And he won't answer that question. Which suggests to me that the answer is actually no. Because, well, it's not a really personal question. If you ask someone, do you care for your wife? You expect the husband to answer, yes, I do. Or, no, I don't, which is why we're getting a divorce. You get my point. It's really not a deep question, I don't think, at all. But also he makes out to be the victim. He's saying, oh, well, you know, I don't know where I'm at. Holly just left without a word. Just left me without a word. Hasn't communicated. But she left you because firstly she was scared of you. And secondly, she wanted to see her children. To see her children. They're very important. And he never really talks about that. And I find that a bit grating. Yes, she probably should have texted him and said, I'm not hanging around. But Polly did read her the text from Holly in the last episode, so he's got the information he needs. And I imagine Holly didn't text him because she knew if she did text him, he'd probably respond with about 100 different texts being absolutely mean to her. And that's probably why. That's what I reckon anyway.
Cheers, darling. Right, give us the debrief. After this lovely spa retreat you went on.
Oh, man. Polly and Sasha was going at me for ages, calling me pathetic and a weasel, telling me I'm nothing, all this stuff. So yeah, I clapped back.
So it sounds like at the spa there was some altercation with Polly and Sasha against Alex.
For me, it got quite uncomfortable in there, especially the Sasha conversation. I think both of you went a little bit too far, especially as you're the man in that argument.
So just because I'm a man, I have to watch what I say, but because she's a woman, she doesn't have to watch what she says.
I think this tension has been building up for a while. We saw at the last commitment ceremony, there was incredible pressure between Alex and Sasha. And in fact, both of them were speaking in a disrespectful way. And of course, that's not about gender, that is about human-to-human interaction.
And then Polly's asking me questions like, oh, do you care about Holly? I'm tired of talking about it.
Where's your head at?
I mean, how would anybody feel if your wife had just left and not said anything to you? There's no good reason to just leave. And no contact.
From that to a rather bizarre moment where Luke talks to Kieran, I think about sex with Amy, and she wants him to park his car in her garage. Now, according to the experts, this means she wants him to climax in her. I didn't know it meant that. I really was utterly confused by this conversation. But it's typical of Luke to say this. But Emma does a priceless little thing at the end, so it is quite funny.
She asks me to park the car in her garage.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
was raised, always park your car outside. Because if you park inside, then it's beyond your control.
I think Luke is alluding to the fact that Amy wants him to climax inside of her, but he doesn't want to do this.
Private conversation, Luke.
I mean, I couldn't
Yeah,
the whole car inside the garage. Maybe a front bumper, but I can't put the whole car in. These for your ears only. She told me that she feels like I'm treating her a bit not special by parking outside.
I've got some advice for you. Take the wheels off the car.
Have you got Ford Transit?
Then Ross arrives, and he goes straight into confronting Alex, says to Alex, apologise to Amy, you've done this and that. Alex says no. Ross says, get the F out. And once again, Alex looks wry, and he grins, and he, to me, looks like he's ready to fight.
So he's just gone straight to Alex and pulled him apart from the group?
He did.
That's probably the first time I've seen Ross so angry. Usually he's a barrel of laughs and high energy, but he's come in on a mission.
Oh, yes.
I'm actually fucking legend, but very angry.
He's fuming. He's absolutely fuming.
You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say. I think the other bodies.
Wow.
Why the fuck would you say that to statue when spare though? Would you say that if I was there though? Would you? Listen, whether you're there
I'm
or
actually
not.
quite you.
Yeah, I would. Yes, I would.
You would say that?
Yes, I would.
Oh, would you? I don't think you would.
I really would. Have you got anything else you want to say?
I want you to go up to statue and apologise for what you said.
I ain't apologising.
Then?
No.
Get the fuck out then. Selfish little prick that, mate.
Things predictably get worse in the whole Ross-Alex situation. The confrontation escalates. Sasha goads Alex a lot and clearly feels like this is her hill to fight on, and it just gets worse and worse until Alex eventually leaves the room. It's basically a repeat of what happened yesterday. What I find interesting is how the experts are sitting there watching all this, and they never seem to get that shocked. They say weird, inane things, as if they don't know Alex, as if they don't know how Alex operates. They've seen it time and time again. I'm assuming they've watched some of the show, and yet they're sitting there going, Alex seems really agitated. Yeah, he's always agitated. He's only ever half a second to a millisecond away from being agitated. That's the way he is. Sometimes when they're sitting there, I think, are they not watching what I'm watching? Wouldn't they be saying, should we call security? Because it looked like they were going to be, hands thrown. But apparently not, guys.
We can see that Alex upsetting Sasha has clearly touched a nerve with Ross. But in that interaction, what was uncomfortable to see was Ross's aggressive behaviour.
I agree with you. If Ross had have approached that in a much more conciliatory way, with some openness and maybe some curiosity about the situation rather than blaming, it would have looked very different.
Twat.
Let's keep calm.
Ross has only heard Sasha's side of things. I do acknowledge that there were some things at the spa that I shouldn't have said. However, it was a retaliation. But don't try and come at me until you know the facts.
I just feel like in every situation, you feel like you need to put your 2 pence in.
You don't speak to the men the same way you speak to the women in
I
this
speak to them
room.
exactly the
so
same.
you've said to Ross he wears fake jewellery.
Did you say that though? You got out the one who bought that actually, though.
Yeah, I said she wears fake jewellery.
Why would you say that though?
Why would she say what she said to me?
Tell me what you did.
She's like, oh, you're nothing, you're a weasel, you're this, you're that.
No, because you think you're a big, scary god.
I really
and
don't
I'm saying, compared to the people I know, you're nothing.
Why do I never
You're
said that?
nothing.
Sasha never said that.
What?
When have I ever said I'm a big scary guy?
I said that he's a big scary guy.
You're involving yourself in something that you don't need to be involved in, Luke. You don't need to be involved in this.
Luke saw what was happening. He saw that Alex felt like he was being backed in a corner, and he came over to sit next to him to show him, you know what, I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the room is not helping to diffuse the situation. When there is conflict that is happening in front of you, everyone is now responsible for the outcome of that conflict, because everyone also could be a casualty of the conflict.
Can you imagine if I'd said something to Holly? Can you imagine that though?
Holly wouldn't go at, listen bro, Holly wouldn't go at you the same way Sasha came at me. Sometimes you just need to know when to be quiet.
You need to know when to be quiet.
Why laughing, man?
Why can't I? Why can't I? I'm happy. I'm not sad.
Happy?
I'm good.
You're a fucking baby. That fucking throws his dummy at the press as soon as someone says something to you.
Wow, no.
You're a little pussy.
What Sasha's now doing is really entering into that kind of aggressive behaviour that is absolutely not acceptable.
Although Alex knows that the more he smiles, the more he's agitating them.
I've been called a pussy. I've been called this, every name under the sun I've been called.
Yeah, there was a lot of name calling and you handled it so well, apart from that last minute, like, don't egg it on.
I will call that man a pussy over and over and over and over again with no shame, because what he does and everybody's with me is unacceptable. What are you looking at, see? He's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Alex is antagonising them, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But I think the positive thing here is that he's recognised that he needs to remove himself from this situation, and I think it's a good move.
Should we all just take a big deep breath together?
Yeah, right, breathe, inhale, 4 breaths in. Does anybody fancy a bit of Reiki?
Okay, so later on at the dinner party, Alex stands up to give the toast, and Sasha gets up and says, I'm not listening to this. Ross follows her, and there's more drama because it was Alex giving the toast. So again, this is going to be a continuing thing until something happens.
Okay!
Fucking hell.
Wait, what?
I must just make people angry, I don't know.
Babe.
I ain't listening to his bullshit, his fake bollocks.
Okay, come here.
I'm not listening to his shit.
Well, look at it, for me, just turn me in. You can't do that, can you?
I knew you was going to say that then.
This is good to see that Ross is able to help Sasha to regulate her emotions, to make her laugh and actually calm down.
Clearly, they both have each other's back, and that's really admirable to see.
Anyway, this week, it's been a tough week.
Now, Alex does go around the table apologising to people. He apologises to Lacey for the way he spoke to her the other night, and they kiss and make up. And once again, the experts, applaud Alex. They literally clap for him and say, "You're doing great. He's doing great there, isn't he? Wow, conflict resolution." But again, I don't buy it with Alex, because he'll turn so quickly, as he's proven before. Then we have Adam sitting down with Alex and trying to perhaps do what Ross didn't succeed in doing, and that is to get an apology out of Alex for the way he behaved with Polly. But Adam kind of ends up semi-agreeing with some of the points Alex makes about Polly. And I thought to myself, while Adam's entitled to do that, is that him defending his wife? I don't think it is. I think in the end of the day, if you're married to someone, you have to do your best to take their corner and defend them, because that is your wife, that is your husband. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if they've done something really dumb, like, if they had an affair, then that's a bit different. But if they are in a conflict with someone else, I do feel like you should defend them. Doesn't mean you have to get out your pistol and say, let's have a duel, but I think it does mean you have to defend them and say, I want you to apologise, and let's reset this because what you've done is not correct. I don't like my wife to be spoken to like that. And I don't know, Adam just kind of made it a matey conversation, which I feel resolved absolutely nothing. And I don't think Polly's going to be very happy about it.
Polly's come back quite upset because you said that I'm faking my feelings, and obviously the attraction thing's been such a big thing for her, where it's made it feel like shit, and the fact that you threw it in her face upset her.
when you first came into this process, Polly wasn't your type on paper.
No.
So I wouldn't say your feelings are fake.
Yeah.
But she's had to beg you to do all these things.
Yeah.
Which has been the bare minimum. And you know what, on top of that, she'd been coming at me all day, with Sasha as well.
I get that.
And she even said to me at one point, my relationship's better than yours. I'm like, bro,
that was uncalled for.
The thing is, in all of this, I've got my own marriage to deal with. Yeah. My head could already be scrambled from that. So I'm just...
plot twist, that curveball.
I'm really feeling for Adam right now because he's obviously listened to Polly speak about things that Alex has said, and now he's hearing Alex say things that I think actually he also maybe agrees with slightly. So where does he go? He's in quite a difficult position.
The same thing that's happened with me and Ross, I don't want to happen with me and you.
It is shit though, man.
And then...
I think the fact that you and Ross were such good mates is like shit that it's had to go like that.
It's annoying, bro. Today, they could possibly have got an apology out of me, but he approached the situation totally wrong. Look at how you've approached it. Well, you've come to me and got my side.
Yeah, of course.
Spoke to me, Ross just came in, like...
Yeah. I get that. And that's why I just want you two to fucking... kiss and make up.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation.
Because I know you do get on.
Yeah.
Like, you two are fucking close, man.
Yeah.
But there's no bad blood there from me.
Yeah, okay.
It gets sadder for Emma, guys. She's sitting there at the dinner party looking at all these other happy couples, kissing, saying nice things to each other, and just realising that that's not what she's got. Once again, I feel for this woman. I have a real soft spot for Emma. I think she's very nice. I said that yesterday. And it just hasn't worked out for her. I don't think Casper's prepared to make the effort. I think Casper could. If he would just try, I think Casper could be really great for Emma. But I don't think he's prepared to. And I think it's really sad for Emma, because I feel like Casper will probably go on, find another woman, and have lack of success with that other woman. And Emma will be left behind. But I think Emma would find another guy. I don't think Emma would struggle. I think she's got lots going for her.
You know, we're well into the process now, over halfway. Everyone's at the point now where love's starting to come out. Like, people have got like the real thing. It could have been so different.
I should say, Polly and Alex do have words, and Alex apologises to Polly, and they make up. Okay, so I'm not going to leave that out, but I'm going to put it in the video with all the stuff, because it's like, well, it's just Alex being Alex, guys. He's playing a strategy here. And then Kieran, they play this weird game momentarily, like to say, you know, I think Casper says, who do we think has got the best marriage in here? He points at Adam and Polly, and then Kieran agrees and gets up and hugs them both and gives a kiss to Adam and a kiss to Polly, and then kind of leers and laughs like an old drunkard. And of course this really upsets Christina, because Kieran has been saying all this time that he can't be intimate with her because he's got cold sores around his mouth and stuff, and he doesn't want to pass them on. But for some reason it's okay for him to lay a little light kiss on Polly when he's got cold sores, but he can't kiss Christina. So that is not good. That is bad. Christina's getting very upset, perhaps majorly upset, even though it really wasn't a proper kiss. But it's just the idea, isn't it, that you've been saying all this time, I can't kiss you, I can't do this and that with you because I've got this infection, and yet you then go ahead and kiss another woman. So yeah.
Do you know if you give me a fucking cold sore, I go mad?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Did you just kiss another wife on your lips? I should think not, Kieran. Remember respect for your wife, please. You're not even at that level with me, let alone one of my best friends in it.
That would hurt so much. You know, he's been saying, I've got cold sores, I can't kiss you, I can't be intimate with you, but here I am, laying a smacker on another wife.
All very weird. Where did that come from? Kieran, what? You, of all people. Then, of course, Holly enters the room, and Alex's face falls And I think we know why Alex's face falls, because he can no longer now be the victim, because there's now going to be the other side of the story, which may make him less of someone to be pitied. And I think that's why he's a bit concerned now. But Polly's arrived, and we're going to see what she's going to say. Of course, it could be a huge anticlimax. She could just come back in the room and Alex would go, "Hello, trouble." And she'll go, "Oh, Alex, you're saying the nicest things to me." And they'll get back together and that'll be that. And then they'll split up again in the next episode. But I hope we get a bit more than that. But don't hold your breath.
You're right. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. The thing is, Alex has done so well tonight with managing conflict that I'm just hoping that he'll manage this situation correctly and not let his ego get in the way.
Well, while I said earlier that Alex was getting ready to fight, a bit like a boxer, it looks like Holly has spent her time away getting ready to confront Alex. Because when she comes back and takes him aside to talk to him, she really lays it out. And I got to say, I really respect her for this, because she tells him what he did to upset her and make her want to go away. And he does what he always does and starts to kind of, you know, try and back out, make excuses, act like he's the one who's being attacked because, of course, he never does anything wrong. All that kind of nonsense. The bottom line here is that he disregarded the fact that this woman has children. He acted like it didn't matter and that he should come first and he was more important and it was all about him. And she's a mum and she didn't like that. And that's what concerned her. And why wouldn't it, guys? If you are going into a relationship, a marriage, and you already have children and your partner doesn't, it's going to be a huge problem if your partner doesn't want children or doesn't get along with your kids or can't be bothered to even try, because it won't work. Your children will not like your partner. They really won't. They'll loathe them. And that will cause huge friction in your family. And the kids don't deserve that. They deserve to have a loving parent looking after them and guiding them through life, all that kind of stuff. So Holly's right to bring this up, and she has now said, look, we're not making any decisions now until we sit in front of the experts in the next instalment, I presume on Monday, at the next commitment ceremony. So well done her. Listen, thumbs up to Holly. Well done, Holly. And this is, to me, this is what Alex is really all about. When it comes down to the wire, when the rubber meets the road, Alex only takes a modicum of responsibility. He wants to put it on everyone else and play the victim. And Holly's kind of spoilt that for him by returning. He would have loved it, I think, if Holly never came back, never returned. Then he'd be like, oh, I had a marriage and now it's all broken. Now I need someone else. Poor old Alex. But now she's back and she's fighting. He doesn't like it. And we saw in the trailers of what's to come that, again, he's going to really be in pressure, under pressure, all over pressure, pressure everywhere for Alex.
So where do we start?
I don't know. Is there anything you want to say?
Are you okay?
Yeah. For me, I just needed to selfishly put myself first.
I just feel like the no communication for a week is mad. I was just left stewing. People are coming at me, asking me all kinds of questions, and I'm trying to defend the marriage and I don't even know what's going on myself.
I think after the comment that you made at the lift the other day and how you walked off when I felt so vulnerable, that's what made me think I need to go home to my babies. You said, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I said, some of us are missing our kids.
Yeah.
And your comment was, fuck this can't be arsed, and walk back to the room. To me, that makes me feel like you don't give a shit about the fact I've got kids. So instantly I'm going to think, fuck you.
I didn't say I can't be arsed.
You did. Saying that comment is shit. Maybe if you asked me more, am I missing my children, am I okay?
You didn't seem unokay though.
Yeah, but you have never asked you don't ask me how I am when I'm missing my kids. You have never once asked me. These are things I don't forget as a mum.
If we break it down to what's really going on here, her identity is so clearly tied up in being a mother. And he was essentially dismissing a big part of who she is. So I can see where she's coming from as well.
If you can respect what I'm saying for once, then we can move forward.
For once?
Yeah.
Those two words are quite significant for once, because really what Holly's doing here is generalising that the behaviour he's showing here is something he shows all the time. And so I think right now Alex is realising he's in a bit of a no-win situation.
At the end of the day, for me, right now, as it stands, the only way we can move forward is after speaking to the experts tomorrow.
One of the most dangerous things you can do in a relationship is give an ultimatum. And that's exactly what she just did.
What did you make of this, guys? I know some of you have your opinions about Alex, and I appreciate that. Listen, I don't hate the guy or anything like that, but I do think Alex is dangerous. And I know you think I've got an agenda, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just an opinion, and it is my opinion, of course it is. And I will take that opinion quite gladly. If you don't agree with it, that's absolutely fine, right? Whatever you like below, we'll talk, we'll dialogue as we always do. And I always look forward to chatting back and forth with you guys. So thanks as always for watching. And I'll catch you again on Monday for more Married at First Sight. Thanks as always for watching. Have a lovely Thursday evening.